All right, everybody. I just want to say hello. Thanks for jumping on the Unit Master Record training. You'll see there's a few things different. Real quick before we get started, do want to make note that if you haven't already, if you could put your unit type and your unit number in your name field, so that way we can kind of see who's all here and we know kind of what units are represented. We are going to record this, so that way if you ever need to go back and check on some information we talk about, you can certainly do so. My name is Brent Porter. I'm going to be doing the presentation today, and I've got Angie Anderson. She's Arrowhead District Director. She's going to be helping me out with answering some questions. If we go along and you have a question, there's a chat function. Go ahead and type it into the chat function what your question is, and then we'll address it usually about the end of each of the slides or each of the tabs as we get going. So if you are looking for some information for going forward, siouxcouncil.org/popcorn is a really good resource for you. That's where we're going to be posting a video for this. Once we complete it all and once it gets finalized, it can get posted. And then also Pecatonica River popcorn.com/tutorials is also a place you can go to get some tutorials specifically for the Pecatonica site. We'll get to that a little bit later, and you can kind of tinker with those later. But today we're going to be going over the Unit Master Record. This is kind of a document we've had for the last several years. It hasn't changed a whole lot over the last couple of years. We can't say that anymore because it has changed a lot. So what we did is I went through and kind of updated some stuff. What the updates for the 2022 Unit Master Record consist of: same basic information as previous years. A lot of these pieces are going to look very familiar to everybody. It's how it's all arranged is how it's going to change. The format of the document has changed. So what we did, this new Unit Master Record can be found on the council website. We'll go on to the siouxcouncil.org. You click on the popcorn information button, and it'll take you at the very bottom of that screen. There's a link that'll get you this new Unit Master Record form. As of right now, it's out there, so you can go out and get it as soon as we're done here, and you guys can get started with all your stuff if you want. Freshly updated as about 5 o'clock today. It got posted out there, so this document is now live out on the council website. The new Excel file basically consists of 7 tabs. First one is going to be your information, your unit information, the kernel information. Then we're going to go through some due dates. So you have a kind of a one-stop shop on when everything is due. You're going to have a list of where you can put all of your sellers, and that's going to transition over to all the tabs for you. You're going to have a unit inventory spot. This is one in years past, people that didn't really realize that it was there. So when we got through the final and said, hey, go to this spot, we're like, well, if I'd have known that, then we would have used it. That's now on its own tab, so you can see it. Our normal Unit Master Record, which is the record you guys are all used to, is there. The price summary tab is there. A few updates to that. We'll get to those when we get there. And then there's also a PR winner circle order sheet tab as well. We'll get to that when we get there as well. These tabs are arranged in the order of the selling season. So the goal is that you can start with the first one, entering your information. Your due dates are all there. And then as you build your selling, you're going to get your inventory stuff. Then you're going to go into the actual sales. Then we're going to talk about prizes, and then you can enter your winner circle prize. So they all kind of come in chronological order as we go. And I hope that all makes sense as we kind of work our way through it. So without further ado, let's get in and we'll check out the new spreadsheet that we got for us. While I pull this up, if you are new and just joined us, feel free to put your unit type and your unit name or unit number in your name, so that way we can see who's all attending with us. So this is the new Unit Master Record that we're going to be using this year. I hope it makes sense to everybody. If it doesn't, that's perfectly fine. I want any and all feedback when we're done. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. I want all feedback. I'm hoping that over the next couple of years, we'll just continue to make this document better and better, more useful, especially if you're a new kernel and you've never seen any of this stuff before. Let us know what was confusing. Let us know what made a lot of sense. Let us know what worked, what didn't. We want all that information. If you want, you can certainly just email it to me at the end of the year or in the middle of the year. Even if you have a suggestion of, you know what, it'd be really cool if it could do this. Send me the suggestion. We'll see if we can make it work. There's a lot of stuff that Excel can do. It's just going to take a little bit of digging to see if we can do it. But if you want, send me an email at that porterb84@hotmail.com. Let me know. Say, hey, I'm a such and such unit. I just tried it. This didn't work, or this would work really cool if we could do this. Fantastic. We'll get to it. First page already starts off on a new look. So Scouting Popcorn 2022, Fuel Your Adventure is there. Looking for everybody's kernel information on the left-hand side. Go ahead and fill that out once you go through there. That way, Linda, when she pulls this open, this is the first information she's going to see. She's going to know exactly who is submitting this order. On the right-hand side, you're going to have your district name. There's a drop down there. So if you know your district name, you can free type it in. Otherwise, if you don't, just click the selection. Unit type, again, there's drop downs there if you want to do it. If you don't know what that unit types are, feel free to click the drop down. And then your unit number. I'm just going to use my unit that I'm associated with, Pack or Troop 57, Pack 57. Either one, put the zeros in front of it if you wish. Don't put the zeros in front of it if you wish. Completely up to you. If you have any questions right off the bat, at the very bottom of the screen, we have email for communication. If you're trying to get a hold of the council, please send all of your communication to this email. This is a link. If you pull this up in the actual Excel, it will actually take you right to the email and you can send it. If you have popcorn questions and you want to have popcorn reference a sheet, a form or whatever, click this link here. This will take you to the council website on the popcorn page where we have all the links for it. Again, please feel free to use these links as much as possible. Next tab is something that's new. We are starting this where the way that I like to work with things is I want a list. Give me a list, what I got to do, when I got to do it, and I'll track it. Perfect. So what I've got here is a checklist. It starts with September 6th, and obviously that date is already passed. That was the pre-order due. So hopefully you guys all got those done. Okay. If we pull up, this will be an automatic date. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. This will be automatically populated for today's date. That field will be locked, so you can't adjust it. But as you get within a week of the due date, you're going to have a yellow bar across, so you know it's coming within the next 7 days. Once you're done with that, I've already submitted my pre-order. I'm going to click this box here. It's going to check it off. Now green, I'm good to go. I can go on to the next thing. Not due till the 22nd, but sorry, my mouse is being really sensitive right now. So, but if we go to the next date in line, so if we go to, let's say we're on September 4th, oops. So fast forward about 5 days from now, September 20th. Okay, we're within a few days of these. So I know that I got to pick up my popcorn on the 22nd or by the 22nd. Some of those days are going to change a little. The 20th and 21st might be a possibility for some of you, but by the 22nd, popcorn will be picked up. And I know kickoff weekend is the 23rd. So after I pick up my popcorn, I can go ahead and mark this popcorn. I got my popcorn picked up. I can mark it complete. Turns it green for me. That's fantastic. I know it's done. I can go on to the next thing. Once the popcorn kickoff weekend is done, I can check that off too. I'm done there. I know the next thing in front of me is going to be October 20th. And that's when the popcorn sales officially end. If I go and let's say I jump ahead of the 20th, I forget to come in here and look at this. Popcorn sales have ended. It's now turned red because it's now past due. Hopefully that all makes sense to everybody. I try to make it very simple. There's a key at the bottom. If you have any questions, check it off as green. You can go right on to the next one. Once your final popcorn order is sent in, you can go ahead and mark that one off as well, right on down the line. I think that pretty much sums up everything here. This date will automatically, like I said, change with how the dates go. It'll automatically populate with today's date. It'll show up red if it's past due. You can still mark it off as complete. It'll show yellow if it's within a week. It'll show green if it's complete. Hopefully this will allow everybody just to have a one-stop shop where they can go to see what is due, what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and am I getting close to that date? We'll pause here real quick. If you have any questions, please let us know. If you're most recent joining us and you didn't catch the first part, please put your unit type and your unit number in your name, so that way we can keep track of kind of who's all attending. Not tied to your commission for popcorn, but it's still good information to know for us. So, okay, I don't see any questions in the chat, so we'll go ahead and keep on moving to the next one. Next tab, like I said before, is going to be your sellers page. So what I've got it set up, I put some just default names in here, obviously. Lots of columns here. but I recommend you fill this out as much as possible each time, especially if you have a scout that usually sells a lot of popcorn. This will pay dividends having this all filled out before you get to the very end, and we'll show you why when we get there. But try and fill out as much as you can. If you get to the PR seller ID, you don't know what their PR seller ID is, you can log in to the PR Popcorn site, put your credentials in there, click on Scout across the top of the screen, and it'll give you a complete list of all your scouts, all of their seller IDs, everything. Feel free to enter all that information here. Put their parents' information in here, put their parents' email in here. That's going to be especially key when it comes to PR Popcorn. They send out email updates on things like this, so that gives them their information that they need. Is there any questions on scout information, parent information, the due dates, anything we've discussed up to this point yet? Okay, we'll move on to the next tab. So unit inventory. So I've already populated some basic inventory stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to order any of the military donations. I don't order those until the very, I don't order those until the very end. I threw in some numbers here. We'll kind of work with these numbers just for demonstration purposes. We have all of our products across the top. You enter in what your order is based on what you physically got. When you came to pick up your popcorn, what did you physically get? You can enter in the order that you requested. That might change a little bit. So I would recommend if you do it just to tinker with it, that's perfectly fine. But that may not be your final order. Don't assume that that's correct and just go ahead and fill everything out. Make sure that you update it with the physical inventory that you actually got. So that goes across the top screen up here that I got highlighted there. Enter all that information once you get it. Okay. Now we're going to assume that we're into the selling season on October 5th, that we had to put in an additional order because I saw that my numbers were getting kind of high. So I went in and I put in an additional order of caramel corn. Okay. That's something that you can do. You just need to reach out and put the order in with Linda. And we're going to say that we ordered the 20 classic caramel and we ordered 20 popping. So we're going to enter that in here. Okay. Enter the date, enter the volume. You don't need to fill out any of the other fields with zeros or anything like that. Only the stuff that you physically get, you can put in there. Okay. Any additional orders, you can continue to tally those all the way down. There's 5 lines in here. If that isn't enough for you and you need more orders than that, double up a couple of them, call one of them end of September, call one of them October, beginning of October, something like that, and then combine the orders so that way the inventory is all captured in within those 5 lines. Okay. One thing we're really going to try and get people to do is using the Facebook page. We have unit transfers are available. Talk to another unit. If they have extra of what you need, transfer with them. It doesn't go against your total numbers as far as what you can return to the council, but it still gets you the product that you need without possibly being stuck with something. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. So we're going to go through the scenario again where I needed some more popcorn. Let's say I ran out of my cheese lovers. I was coming close to running out of my cheese lovers. So I wanted to put order in, but instead I went to the Facebook page and I said, hey, does anybody have some cheese lovers that I can get? And somebody responded to me, and on the 7th, they went ahead and said, yep, let's meet up and we'll get it from you. I filled out my paperwork, your unit transfer information. I filled that out and I got 5 cheese lovers from them, which would cover me for the rest of the season. So I'm comfortable there. Okay. Go ahead and enter it just as you would your normal order. Okay, if I get down to the next one, now let's say I needed something, but I also had some extras of some other stuff. So I went ahead and reached out on the Facebook page again. And we'll say on the 13th of October, I reached out and got a hold of somebody and we agreed to swap. I'm going to put it in my transfers in because I'm receiving something. So I received another 20 popping. And then I'm also going to go down to my transfer out because I'm also sending something out. And I'm going to put the same date in here. And what I transferred out was I had some extra classic trios. So I transferred 8 of those away. It's going to deduct all the transfers out. It's going to add all the transfers in, as well as adding your order at the very bottom. Extra on hand, we'll talk about that here in a minute once we get to the next tab. And then if I'm doing just a transfer out, then somebody got a hold of me and said, hey, I really need some more of the classic caramel and popping, and I'm really towards the end of the season. I just need a few more. That's great. I've got some extra. So on the 20th, I went ahead and got a hold of them and sent them what they needed. So they got 20 of the caramel and 10 of the popping. Okay. This is how this is designed to be used. This is for the show and deliver units. If you are actually just putting in an order, you're getting what you need. This is not going to apply to you at all. This is for anyone that's coming to pick up a large quantity of popcorn and then they're going to try and sell it all. Whatever is not sold is going to be returned. And that's what this is for that tracking. The one thing I want to make sure that everybody understands is just because you posted something on the Facebook page, that does not count as a transfer form. You need to physically fill out the transfer form and you just send that one copy into Linda. Talk to the other unit you're transferring with, make an agreement on who's going to send it. I usually, whenever I talk to somebody, I usually say whoever is in need of the product. If I need the product, I will send it. If you're in need of the product, if you could send it, that'd be great. I'm kind of helping you out here, so please do that for me so that way I don't have to do it and take up part of my day to do it. But if I need something, I'm usually the one that's going to send it. Just make an agreement between the two of you. Who's sending it? Send one copy to Linda. We do not need multiple copies because then they get doubled up and then it gets really confusing after that. Is there any questions to this point on unit inventory, anything else that we've talked about? All right, so we'll move on to the next one. Unit master record. This is where a lot of you guys are used to seeing this part in the years past. This is where you're going to go to enter in whatever all your scouts sell. Some people go in and enter it as they see it. Some people come and wait till the very end of the season. They go in and enter it. However you do it, it's completely up to you. I'm going to run through a few scenarios here again so that way we can kind of see this stuff in action. So if I'm entering these things as my scouts come, I've got a batch of orders that I'm going to just copy and paste in here. Again, this is not going to be on your sheet. This is going to be just on mine because I am trying to give you guys a few examples so you can see this kind of happening. So I've gone through now, I'm at the end of my season, I've gone through and I've entered in all of my orders. All of my scouts have turned in all their paperwork. I've got 14 scouts here. I've got all their information in there. I'm set. I've got the paperwork done. Doesn't matter if you enter in zeros in all of the stuff. Some people like to see all those numbers filled in, or you can just leave the blank. It doesn't matter. It'll calculate it either way. Go in and fill out each column. Make sure that you get the appropriate product and the appropriate numbers in each. I recommend you give it kind of I call it like a smell test. $145 appears to be about right for these products. If this was $1,000, something doesn't look right. We've gone through, we've tested this. Doesn't mean something might not slip through the cracks. I encourage as you go through it to try and give it, like I said, the smell test. Make sure that things just kind of look right. Okay. So as you can see, everything in the total amount due automatically calculates over. My grand total automatically calculates over. We have a column over here for online sales. So when your scouts, you can run a report at the end of the season and it'll tell you all of your scouts and each one and how many online sales each of them did. So I've got just some predetermined numbers here that I'm going to copy and paste into that so we can see how this all works. So online sales comes in and you're going to go through and you're going to fill all those out. Okay. You also have a column for table sales. Okay. This column allows you to divvy up evenly table sales without having to take and give this scout the classic trio and then give this scout 3 yellow popping and then give this scout a butter and a caramel, trying to divvy it up that way. Take the dollars, divide it amongst however you guys decide to divide it, put that dollar amount in your table sales. Okay. There's another way we can calculate this as we go, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. It looks like there's a couple of questions in the chat, so we'll see if we can get those addressed before we move on to the next thing. Facebook page looks like that was already Sioux Council Popcorn Exchange. Just to clarify, is this for our record keeping or is this something we send in the final sales when popcorn is done? Yes to both. Your record keeping, when everything is all said and done, you're going to send this to Linda. at that sue.popcorn@scouting.org. The reason why is when we get to the next tabs, it's got your prize orders, and then those will be submitted through this document here. So that's why we wanted to make sure that everything is calculated as best as possible, because I tried to make everything as automated as possible here. So that way it eliminated anybody accidentally putting an extra digit into a total or something like that. So yes, for your record keeping, but yes, also to send into Linda at the end of the season so she can give you guys the appropriate commissions, give you guys the appropriate prizes and all that stuff when everything's all said and done. Good questions. All right, so we were talking about table sales. So for table sales, you enter in $1 for each scout if they participated. So let's say we've got these 3 scouts here. Scout 4, 5, and 6, they all went together. They did $200 in the 2 hours that they did, but Scout 4 was there for both hours, but Scout 5 and 6 each split an hour. So you have 4 hours total. So you're just going to divvy up each scout for $50. Okay. That could work by giving them all one of the products or a couple of products or combinations thereof, or you just put the dollar amount in here. And what we recommend that you do from here is if you go to your sellers tab and you scroll all the way down to the very bottom of your sellers tab, we have put in a T1, T2, all the way through T10. So that's to say table sales. You have 10 lines to populate here. Recommend that you do wherever you go to, put the location and put the date that you went there. I've already got the table sales populated, so you know what it is when you go look at it. This also transfers over to this page as well. So at the very bottom of this page, I have my 923 table sales, and I've got my 930 table sales we did at Walmart. Okay. Go in here and you can fill out all of this information on quantities that you ended up doing. So I'm gonna make this super easy. We're just gonna click over for a little while. Oops. And we're gonna do 10 and 10 of these and 10 of these, and we'll say 5 of those. We'll 10 of those and 5. Okay. All right. So by doing this, this takes it out of your inventory as well. So you've given your scout credit above for the dollars that they did by evenly distributing it. And here you have now taken it out of your inventory by using this line item here. Okay. You'll notice that at table sales column, there is a negative $2,000. This is because you've already given your scout dollar credit for it. So your unit total, we don't want to escalate that to a false number. So we have to deduct the total number here. And that's how we go about doing it. This also prevents it from showing up on your prize sheet later. You don't want to send table sales a prize. You don't want to send a winner circle prize to this Walmart 923 table sales person. Okay. So this balances your dollars and it balances your inventory. Okay. Now, if we go back to our inventory tab, you'll notice that we have some of these as extra on hand. That's because I entered in the table sales. Just for number's sake, I'm going to take these table sales back out just so I can show you what this calculates to and how we can use this the best. So here, I now have a total number of sales, okay? I have all of the products that I should have left on hand. Once everybody's done selling, you've got everything returned to you, all the dollars are handed in. This is what you should have left in your possession. I should have 2 chocolate lovers, 9 cheese, 3 classic trios, and so on and so forth, okay? If that does not match up, then you have an error somewhere and you need to figure out where that is, okay? So this tells you exactly what you need to return. So when we ask for your return order, you should be able to go right into this page, assuming that the smell test worked on everything you've done so far, and you've double checked everything, and everything is accurate with all your scouts and what they purchased or what they sold. Extra on hand is essentially your return order, okay? One thing to note is you're in the negative on the military donation. That will come into play when you go and put your final order in. You will need to order 9 military donations. That gives you credit for the dollars, okay? And that also tells the council that, hey, I sold 9 of these, therefore we need to donate popcorn in the amount of $450 to military. And that's how they know all that information. Okay. I hope that kind of makes sense to everybody with the unit master record. You can kind of see how it interacts with our unit inventory and all that stuff. So hopefully that all helps and that'll make sense. A couple questions real quick if it hasn't been answered already. All right. Okay, one more thing I want to discuss on this page real quick is if you go to the far right over here, I'm going to go back up to where all my orders are. If you guys set up at your meetings a way for your scouts to turn everything in, I highly recommend it because people will write checks. People are not usually a huge fan of having their checks out for 4 weeks at a time. Instead of waiting to the very end of popcorn sales, I recommend you turn the checks in as often as you possibly can. I usually try and set up a table or tell all the scouts to bring all the checks with you. We'll get them turned in. We'll get them deposited into the account. So that way these people can balance their checkbooks every week like most people do, make sure that everything is done. So what I tell people usually is once a week, go in and ask for your checks. So you can use this sheet to capture that information as well. If my scouts come to me and on this meeting, they turn in these dollar amounts of checks, okay? I now have a way to track how much they turned in and what I still need to get from people. My far right is going to be the amount that's due. So Scout 1, Scout 2, Scout 3, and Scout 4, they're balanced. If they don't take any more orders for the rest of the time, I've got all their money. I don't need to capture anything more from them. But Scouts 5 through Scout 14 need to turn more in. So in the next week, if they come and they turn more in, I now have, sorry, I've got a little bit of delay on my mouse clicking here, so it's kind of driving me nuts, to be honest with you. Sorry, I just changed my view on me, so I got to get this changed back to normal so we can kind of see what's happening. All right. So scouts have been gone out. We've gone 2 or 3 weeks into it. They've all turned in this stuff. So now I know that my 12th scout and my 14th scout, my top seller scout, those two still have outstanding dollar amounts. And let's say he comes to me and turns in his $115, I'm good to go. But scout 12 forgot his money. This is a good way. You can pull this up. You have a reminder that says, hey, scout 12, I need your money before you leave today. Can you have your parents bring the check? And then once the parents bring the check, then you can go ahead and capture it here. And then everything balances out nicely for you. Okay. Goal is to have your total amount due at zeros all the way down. And then if you want to know, you can pull this back up and you now know that here's all of my deposits. So my first deposit was $96.50, second deposit was $33.65, so on and so forth. You have a record that you can keep track of here. All right. Any questions? I see there's a couple in there. We're going to go ahead and check those out here real quick once my mouse starts working for me again. All right. So quick, easy one first. What is the Facebook site? Facebook page is Sioux Council Popcorn Exchange is the Facebook page. When you get in there, you'll be asked 3 questions. Enter the information on those 3 questions. What unit are you with? Are you a colonel? And what district are you in? Answer those 3 questions. It'll submit it, and then we'll go ahead and get you approved. Who is Linda? Linda is a council person that is in charge of the popcorn. So she actually has to do the physical ordering of all the popcorn for the council. Her email is, she's the one that monitors the sioux.popcorn@scouting.org. So she works at the council office in Sioux Falls. So she's really busy this time of year, so she prefers we send everything popcorn related to one email so she can monitor one email instead of having to jump back and forth between all these different emails. So Facebook site is Sioux Council Popcorn Exchange, and Linda is the person in charge through the council that's ordering all the popcorn. So what are we permitted to return? Good question. I was going to cover that with the unit inventory tab. So let's go ahead and let's go through that right now. Go back to unit inventory. Okay. You are allowed to return. I'm going to try and phrase this the best I can, and I'll explain in more detail after I phrase it this way. You are allowed to return your last, the volume of your last order from the council for each individual item. Okay. So if I did not order anything more, my starting order, and I didn't get anything more ordered from the council, I can do all of the inter-unit transfers I want. Not a problem. The additional orders here are the ones that matter. So these top lines right here, all the additional order, those first 5. I can do as many unit transfers as I want. Those first 5 lines, if I have entered any information in there, that is my last, that is what I can return. So in my case that I have here, for chocolate lovers, I can return my original 15. I can do that. That's fine. Cheese lovers, I did transfer for 5. That doesn't count against me. I can still return up to 35 back to the council. Classic trio, yeah, I did a transfer. I can still return up to 50 of those. Okay. Kettle corn, all those all the way across. Now, my additional order that I did is classic caramel and yellow popping. When I do that additional order from the 130 and I now order 20 more, I can only return my most recent order that I did. So 20, okay? That is why it is so key that you utilize your unit transfers. Those don't count against you. Utilize those unit transfers and make sure that you are in touch with who has what and how much they have of it. If you are down to 5 of something and you know that 20 scouts each took 10 of the classic caramel, I wouldn't necessarily just jump out there and order more because they might return 5 each. And if you ordered 20 more, you're only going to be able to return 20 and then you're going to be stuck. Okay. This is where the Facebook page comes into play. If you think you have a surplus, go out there and let people know you got a surplus. Hey, I've got a bunch of extra classic caramel. Anybody need anything? And then they'll let you know. Or if you're in need of something, try there first before you automatically jump to the council, okay? If I take this, let's do this here. All right, so we're going to ignore that transfer, and I just did that to monkey with my numbers, okay? If I had 120 in my initial order, okay? I sent everything out to scouts. I'm like, oh, I need to get more. I ordered an extra 30 from the council, okay? I got those extra 30 from the council. Even if I had these 50 transferred in, I am only able to return 30 to the council, okay? If I have 58 in my inventory still, I will need to come up with a way to get rid of 28 more, okay? I will return 30 to the council. I will still have 28. And then however you as a pack or troop decide to do it, you can give them away as prizes, you can do whatever you want, but you will not be allowed to return those back to the council. So I think the clearest way I can explain it is the way I did, and that is your most recent order from the council for each individual item. So again, starting order for everything but the classic caramel. In this scenario, classic caramel and yellow popping, I can return all those. Classic caramel, I can return 20. And this scenario, yellow popping, I can return 30. Okay. I hope that makes sense. If you are used to how we did it previous years and you have that under control, it's exactly the same as it's been for the previous years. The last couple that I've been district chair for. So if you're used to how it's always been done, it's the same exact way. We have not changed anything as far as that goes. Okay. Hopefully that answered everybody's questions when it comes to what are you guys allowed to return. If not, we can maybe hang out afterwards and we can kind of discuss specific scenarios and stuff if we want to. All right. Any more questions on Unimaster Record, anything we've already talked about to this point? I have all my stuff entered. I've got my online sales. Note that your total amount due is for the popcorn you got on hand. You add online sales, you add table sales. That's your grand total. This is what's going to transition to the scout prizes. This number right here. Okay. This is what scouts can use for prizes. But the dollars that is due is going to be the amount due over here. Does not take into account the online sales and the table sales, because we are assuming at table sales you are collecting that when it happens. You are not sending it home with the scouts and having them turn it in at a later date. You're collecting it as it goes. So amount due in the far right does not include online sales and table sales. Again, as you go, if you look at these things and give it a quick smell test, if it looks like it's about right, you can add up if you want to, double check, that'd be great. But give it a smell test. If you see a number that just doesn't look right, give it a quick calculation and see what it comes to. All right, no questions. Let's go to the prize summary. Again, this tab is going to look pretty much the same except for a few additional things. First thing you'll notice that comes in on the left-hand side is your scout's name comes in and the amount sold. So that is the total, including online, including table sales. That is total amount sold for each scout. That is what they have to use for their prize selections. Okay. Let's start with level 1. Everything in level 1 is automatically calculated. You do not need to touch anything here. Okay. The patch that they get automatically calculated. Online sale pin, military sale pin, one of each pin automatically calculated. If your scout sells over $1,000, they'll get the top seller pin automatically calculated. Linda will pick this off of here and go with it. Okay. Prizes. We're entering our prizes in here. Okay. When you have finished entering your prizes at the end of the season, you will need to go onto the PR Popcorn site and just select all the prizes that you have accounted for here to get everything to be ordered from that company that we were using for prizes. Okay. Submitting this to Linda gives her the information she needs for the level 1 and then a couple of the other levels in the later part. But you will have to go in and fill out the level 2 through level 12 items and also the PR Winner Circle items. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. So to help everybody, we've set it up this way. All of the cells that are highlighted green are prizes that scout has available to them. Okay. First scout sold $325 worth of popcorn. They're going to get the patch that they sold an item. They're going to get the online sales because they sold a couple of online sales. Okay. They're not going to get the military. They're not going to get the one of each. They didn't sell that. The first level is $350. They did not reach that, so they cannot pick a prize from there. Okay. Now, second scout, they go in, they get their sold one item patch. They didn't do an online sale. They didn't do a military. They didn't do one of each, and they didn't sell over 1,000. But they did sell in the prize levels, so they can pick any one of these items here. Okay, in the green highlight. Okay. Let's go down to scout number 8. So scout number 8, let's say that scout number 8 wants to get the one of the multi-tools. Okay. So we're going to go over here to level 4. And the multi-tool that they want to get is right here. We're going to enter a quantity of 1. Okay. You now have a new set of green boxes. They can now pick another prize from the 350 or the 450 because they have enough left over. Okay. Far to the right, if you want to see what the numbers are calculating as, you can see that they have used up $650 of their prizes. They have $480 left. So now this scout can go in and they can pick another, let's say they want the headlamp. Okay, they can go pick the headlamp. Done. They've used up as much as they can. Now they're good to go. Okay. Let's go through another scenario. Scout 12. Let's say scout 12, let's say they want to get a headlamp but they have a buddy that wants the same headlamp, so they want 2 of these. They can do that. Okay, 2 headlamps. Now they can pick something else. Okay, so let's say they go through and pick another selection, and they go and pick. So let's say they also wanted to go up here and let's do level 7. So they wanted this North Face backpack. Okay. So they said, yep, I want 2 of those, 2 headlamps and a North Face backpack. You go and you enter it. Guess what? You went over your number. Okay. It highlights the whole bar red. You know you went over it. You got to adjust something. Go back to Scout 12, say Scout 12. I can't do all that. You can either select something else other than your North Face backpack to level 6 or below. Or if you really want that North Face backpack, maybe you cut this down and you only do 1 of your rechargeable, and now you're set. Now you're good to go. Okay. Gives you green highlights for everything that's eligible for you. Gives you red if you have gone over the eligibility number and you need to go back in and recalculate it again. Okay. If you notice down here on these bottom sellers, they have all sold over $850. In addition, for Scout 12, in addition to that backpack and the headlamp that they wanted, they can also pick from these columns here. Green highlight means it's available. Okay. So let's say they also want the hammock. Perfect. Pick the hammock and you're moving on. Again, once you fill this information out, this is your cheat sheet. Take this to the PR Popcorn site, log in, go to your prize selection, and you're going to do an order for all of these prizes. Okay. You don't need to say Scout 1 wants this, Scout 10 wants this, Scout 5 wants this. What you're going to order is this down here. You're going to order quantity 2 of the rechargeable headlamp. You're going to order 1 of the multi-tool. You're going to order 1 of the North Face backpack, so on and so forth. Okay. That's what you're going to order. All of this is going to get sent to the Colonel. Once it comes to you physically, you get all these prizes. Now you have a sheet here that tells you exactly what prize goes to what scout. Bag them up, set them aside, however you want to do it. Let them know, say, hey, stop by my house. I got your prizes for you. However you're going to do it, go ahead and do it. And this is your cheat sheet for that. We really hope that this helps. We've had scouts in the past that sold $2,000, but they wanted the thing that was an $850, and then they didn't pick any other prizes. So we had to reach out to them and say, hey, quick, pick another prize. What do you want? And then that just takes time. We're really hoping that this clears up any of that confusion. If there's a green cell available, you can pick from that category, from that area. Any questions on the prize summary portion? Give a minute in case somebody is actually typing something. I don't want to continue on if they are not done with their question. Real quick on the far right side, the super bonus automatically calculates over here. Super bonus is if they sell over $1,850 in sales, they get a bonus $50 gift card. Yes, that is on top of all the other prizes that they have picked. That's automatically calculated. Angie, is it that Linda will be automatically doing that from here, or is that something that they will have to order when they do their prize order?
Yeah, they'll order it when they do their prize order.
Okay. So they'll do that when they do their prize order, and I believe they're going to be sending out the physical cards to the Colonel, and then the Colonel will just divvy that up to whoever it belongs to. So when you do your order, you're going to be ordering the quantity that totals at the bottom of your sheet here. Last column I want to talk about. Again, if you have a question, go ahead and start typing it as we finish up discussion on this. PR Winner Circle. Pecatonica River is offering a prize for anybody that sells over $3,000 in popcorn. Okay. They are offering a prize. This is through Pecatonica River. Okay. You will order this in the PR Popcorn site, slightly different location than where the other things are. We will go over where exactly these all are. If you want to go into the site and find it, that's perfectly fine. We will go over that when we go over the closeout training. So if you're new and you don't know where all this stuff is found, jump in on the closeout training. We'll discuss dates there in a little bit. The closeout training, we'll go over where to find all of these and how you go, and we'll kind of overlap the discussion when it comes to that. Okay. Last tab we're going to go to is the PR winner circle. Okay. If you notice in the far right over here, we have the PR winner circle. We only have one scout that made it, top seller scout. He made 5290, so he is in the PR winner circle. So this last tab here, and this where it pays dividends if you filled out your sellers all the way through. When you get to here, I have a complete list of all of my scouts that I need to order a PR winner circle prize for. Okay. When you go there, you're going to need to pick the scout. You're going to need to enter the parent's email address, so that way PR Popcorn can get in touch with them on how they're going to claim the prize, all that good stuff. This is where entering all that information on your sellers tab is very important, because now I don't have to go around and find top seller scout's dad and figure out where I need to get his email address and all that stuff. If you can get it all up front, that's fantastic. Note here, you will not be able to click in any one of these fields. If you did not enter your parent's email here, the fields are locked. Go back to your sellers tab and enter the information there. Okay. Enter all of your scouts information here. We're trying to keep it in a one location. So you always go here to enter your scouts information. You're always going to go somewhere else. That way it's a little bit more straightforward. If for some reason, let's go up to the scout up here. We're just going to modify some numbers here real quick. So let's say this scout, scout 11, actually he had a really good day. He did $5,000 in table sales. So now he is actually also eligible now for the PR winner circle. It will automatically add his name to your list here. So you can go here as a one-stop shop. We've kind of made our way through all the tabs, kind of rushed through some of them. Others took a little bit more time on. But if you have any questions on any one of these tabs, please let us know. Looking forward to some feedback. If we opt out of prizes, do we completely disregard the prize summary tab and PR winner circle tab? Two separate answers for that. We're going to cover the first part. Do we completely disregard the prize summary tab? Yeah, you're opt out of prizes, so disregard that tab. Yes. PR winner circle tab. No. If you opt out of prizes, you are opting out of the council prizes. You are not opting out of the PR winner circle tab or the PR winner circle prizes. They are still eligible for those. You still need to go in and order those. Okay. So disregard the prize summary. The only ones that your scout will be getting with that, even if you opt out of prizes, they will get the automatically calculated columns for level 1. They will also get the super bonus for selling over 1850 and the PR winner circle prize. Those they will still get. Okay, those automatically calculate. Other than the winner circle, you have to physically order because that's a choice. You have a choice of 6 or 8 different items that you can pick from there. Okay, so 2-part question. Yes, ignore levels 2 through 12 here. No, do not ignore the PR winner circle. That is a huge prize for these kids. They deserve it if they get to that $3,000. Okay, we're talking what are they this year, like a $300 gift card or something, or $250 gift card to Amazon or whatever. Best Buy, they're pretty good sized prizes. They're pretty good. So make sure you do that. Angie, the 850 bonus, is that included or excluded from opt-out?
I am not 100% sure on that one. I will have to get back to you. Mhm.
Okay. So we will get back to you on that 850 bonus, if that is an opt-out option or not. All right. I don't see any other questions in the chat. If you have another question, please feel free to put it in the chat. We'll get it answered real quick. As I mentioned at the beginning, 2 things. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you did not fill out on your name what unit type and what unit number you are, please do so. And please don't fill it out real quick and then log right off right away. Give Angie a second to check it out and see who's all here, because we just like to keep figure out who's all here, what kind of numbers we had, all that good stuff. Where can I find the transfer form? The Sioux Council website has it. It is there. I was going to upload it to the Facebook page. I believe, I can't remember if I've got it on the Facebook page or not yet, but I will be putting it on the Facebook page. That'll be out there shortly. Give me a couple of days possibly to do it, maybe the weekend. But we'll get it out there on the Facebook page. So it's available there. Otherwise, in the meantime, feel free to go to the council website, scroll down to the bottom. Will this recording be available for anyone who missed the meeting? Absolutely will. We will be, once we wrap up the recording, we'll get it zipped and all that stuff, and we'll get it put on the same Facebook, not Facebook, the same Sioux Council website. The overview is already out there. You can watch that if you want to. This is going to be out there right with it. So they'll all be there. Just give them a day or so to get everything processed. The person that does it might be out of the office tomorrow, so it might be Monday. We'll see how it all goes, but it will be out there in time. Angie, did I miss any questions that were in there? Did we hit them all?
Yeah, one more just popped up.
Okay. Can we go through where we get the spreadsheet again? Yes. I'll take you right to it. So you're going to go to, let me share my other screen here real quick. Thank you for answering that. Yes, that's the site. So siouxcouncil.org. If you go to siouxcouncil.org, this is a council's page. Down here, you have popcorn resources. Information here, click that button. That takes you to siouxcouncil.org/popcorn, which is the link that I've got earlier in the presentation. Very bottom of popcorn forms, you have unit master record. Click on that, you'll download it, and this is the new unit master record that we've got, that I just ran you guys through. Freshly uploaded from today. That is all I have for everybody. So if you do not have any questions, you guys are free to go. Please, if you did not put your unit name and number in there, please do so Angie can record that, so we kind of know who was all here. This will be posted. If you got any questions in the future, this will be posted. I do have, if you are unaware on who your district chair is, I'm going to put some information up here on your screen. So that way,
There are a couple more questions that's popped up.
okay, we'll run through them here 1 second. I'm going to put up, while we discuss the answers to the questions, I'm going to put up the dates coming up. October 18th is the next one. That's what we talked about, the closeout popcorn. If you needed some information on how to close out popcorn, October 18th is when we're going to go over all that stuff. How do we set up Scouts for online sales? When you go into the PR Popcorn, there is a button. It's Scouts. I believe it's a Scouts button. So I will actually show you here in just 1 second. So I'll show you. Hang on 1 second. Let me answer the next question down, and we'll go back to that. What are the hours for popcorn pickup on the 22nd? So I believe you guys are talking about the pickup on the 22nd is for the Sioux Falls area. Anybody picking up at the council office, looking at the hours of noon to about 7 on that day. I will be sending out the sign up genius for you guys to go in and sign up for your time slot. Same basic rules as previous years. You're going to use your order as a volume to know if you need 1 time slot or 2. As instructions are going to be out there, I will get that sent out probably tomorrow at some point. So be looking for that tomorrow. I'll get back to the question on adding Scouts for online sales. How do we sign up for a time to pick up popcorn? Orders were just sent out today to all the other sites, so they kind of know when they're going to be getting it. the person that's in charge of that site will be getting a hold of you. If you're in the Sioux Falls area, I will be sending out an email to everybody in the Sioux Falls area, or for Red Rock District, actually. If you're in the Sioux Falls area, you'll go on to Sign Up Genius page. There will be a ton of time slots there for you to sign up, instructions on how to do it, and fill it all out. And then that will be the time that you can come between noon and 7 on the 22nd. If you're in the Sioux Falls area and you would like to help on the 21st, I believe Marcia is still looking for some help on the 21st. I am still looking for some help on the 22nd. If you're interested in helping, as a thank you for helping, you can pick up your popcorn on the 21st after we're done sorting stuff, and we'll set that up with you. That's if you help on the 21st or the 22nd. If you're interested, send me an email and I will get you in touch with the appropriate person. But we are still looking for help on the 21st and the 22nd if you are interested. All right, I think I got all those. Okay, let's go back to the how do you set up scouts for online sales. Okay. Let me just jump back here real quick to, let's go. All right. Andrew, are you able to see my Pecatonica login screen?
Yes.
Okay. So when you log into Pecatonica, everybody should have a login at this point. When you get logged in, you're gonna log in and your screen's gonna look something similar to this. Okay. You're gonna go up to the top, you're gonna go to Scouts. At the very top on Scouts, you're gonna have a list of all of your scouts. Okay. If you have a scout that is not on this list yet, you're gonna click the add button, fill out the information, click add. They'll add you to the list, they'll automatically assign your seller ID. Okay. If you have a scout that's on here that is no longer in your unit, you're gonna go and click on the edit button over here. And you're gonna check the inactive box and it'll mark them as inactive, and then you can sort so you only see all your active scouts. Okay. When you click, once you update all this information here and you click this update button, it will send an email to this email address that they have here. Okay. So I tested this the other day. It sent me an email to my email address right there. So when I click update here, I'm gonna get another email. If you have a parent or a scout that says, hey, my grandma wants to buy some popcorn online, I don't know what my seller ID is, what I recommend you do is you go to your scouts, you find that scout, you just click on your edit button, and then you click on your update button. Automatically resend a number, or you can rattle this number off to them if they want to write it down. Either way, if you do it this way, it'll automatically go to their parent or the email address that they've got recorded. So that way they have it for future reference. If then Uncle John or Uncle Jimmy or Aunt Susie or whatever wants to sell later, then that's what you'll have. They'll have it for future reference. If your scout sells something in the PR site, an email will be sent to the email address that they have on file right there. They'll have an email sent to them saying, somebody just purchased from your scout and this is what they purchased. It'll also go to the colonel and say, somebody just purchased something from one of your scouts. Okay. If you are really big into numbers and you want to keep track of that as all those emails come in, you certainly can, and keep track of their online sales for those scouts. That's great. If not, and you prefer just to wait to the very end, at the end of the selling season, you can run a report on online invoices. So we'll go through that when we get to how to close out your selling. So there's a few tools in here. At the beginning, I mentioned that there is some training videos and stuff for you to watch. If you go, you log in, I believe it's right down this first page once it loads everything for me. scroll down the bottom of your first page, and I thought they had all. Where did I see that? Well, I thought that they had a tutorial page, and I thought it was right down here. Donation, print tips, click here, play interactive activity. So here's some information you can use when you once you get logged in at the bottom for helpful tips, things like that. Feel free to use any of this stuff. Well, now I'm gonna have to search for it, but
Brett,
yes.
back down to the helpful tips.
Yep. Did I skip right over it?
Yep, it's on one of those lines where it says.
There we go.
Yep.
Click here for tutorial video links. There it is. Here's all your video links. Square up, sign up, door hanger stuff, how to use them, seller IDs, My PR Popcorn, your kernel tracker tutorial, all that stuff is there where you can click to watch the videos. This is the site that I had in there is prpopcorn.com/tutorials. You can type that into your web browser as well, and it'll take you right to this page here too. So thanks, Angie. Any other questions? Just going through, making sure I didn't miss any questions in here. Oh, I did see somebody had a question. What are permitted to be returned? Only full cases or any leftover popcorn? Any leftover popcorn is permitted to be returned. If you have 3 cases and 3 single cans of popping or 3 single tubs of popping, you can return all of it. That's fine, as long as you haven't ordered extra, and which is what I discussed earlier. So as long as you haven't done that, and you're permitted to, your maximum is available, you can return all that. So full cases and singles are available to be returned. What are we permitted to return? We talked about that in detail. If you're still on here and I missed a question that you had, please just retype it real quick and I will answer it. Otherwise, I think that is all of them that we got. So again, thanks everybody for jumping on. Hopefully with some good information, hopefully everything works. If you have any feedback once you get into it, if it works, great, let me know. If it doesn't work, please let me know that too. I want to know that as well. Goal is to keep kind of modifying this as years go on, make this more user-friendly, a little easier to navigate, put everything kind of at your fingertips so that way you're not going all over the place trying to get all the same information. So thanks everybody for jumping on. Hope everybody has a good night, and mark your calendars for the next training that we are going to do, which is the October 18th for Closeout Popcorn. I'll put the dates up here again real quick. And if you do not know who your district chair is, I've also got a slide here that we can put that up. After tonight, if you have any questions, here are your district chair. For Red Rock, it's myself. Missouri Valley, Vita Church. Arrowhead is Kirsten Fisk. There's their information if you need to get a hold of them. If you need to reach the council directly, it is the sue.popcorn@scouting.org. And feel free to go onto the council site for any information that you might think is out there. Again, important dates, if you need that. Angie, can you think of anything that I missed?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, I'll leave this up here for a minute or two, and then